Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Scarbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And let's take a look at Amy Klobuchar. As I promised, I would look at Amy and I would look at Mike Bloomberg. So let's look at Amy first. Now, I've done her Numerology and Kabbalah. I have it behind me. It's on a different video. You can always check that out. But maybe we can take a quick look at it. Okay, let's just see if you can see this here. Okay, here we go. Um, so her full name is Amy Jean Klobuchar. She was born May 25th, 1960, makes her a Gemini. Her path of life is a 1 vibration, a 46-1 vibration that is located in Tippereth. So she has come in to learn lessons in her heart. Tippereth is associated with children, and the 46-1 vibration is the 6 of Cups, which is a card associated with children and nostalgia and family and stuff like that. Okay, her soul vibration, her inner feminine, is the 24 of a 6 vibration. This is the Queen of Wands, and so at the core of who she is, and the Queen of Wands is a Leo vibration. At the core of who she is, she's a queen. She's a queen. And so she has a sense of perhaps higher purpose with that, right? It is the Queen of Wands, so she could be a little bit demanding, perhaps, a little bit dramatic. She does have Leo in her chart. We'll see it. We'll look at her chart. She actually has Uranus in Leo. So she does have that Leo energy in her chart as well. Her quiescent, her outer personality, is a 1 vibration. It's a 37-1 vibration. It's the King of Cups. So she's got the King and she's got the Queen. She also has fire and water in her numerology chart. The Queen of Fire, King of Water, usually indicative of some sort of spiritual initiation. This life for her is an initiatory process. And of course, she has a 1 vibration as her path of life. And when you have a 1 vibration as your path of life, you're usually initiating something new as well. As far as if you add those 2 vibrations up together, we have a 61-7 expression. That is the 7 of Swords. What's interesting about that is that's the same expression that Bernie Sanders has. She actually has some big commonalities with Bernie, and I know that they've been talking about maybe her being the vice presidential pick if Bernie does win the nomination. That would be an interesting combination because he is so progressive and she's sort of like, let's put the brakes on this. Let's put the brakes on this. I do feel though, if that was the case, I think she would work really hard for whoever was president. I really do. I mean, she'd work hard if she was president, but I'm not sure that's in the cards yet. She's got some things that she has to deal with that maybe we can talk about a little bit. Okay, so we have the 6 on the inside, the 1 on the outside, the 1 path of life, and her shadow is that 37-1 vibration. So her shadow and her quiescent are the same vibration. And that 37-1 is also Trump's shadow. And so there are some things about Trump that reflect on her or reflect, not reflect on her. She sees within herself, perhaps. Or if she doesn't, she should, because they're there. So that one can be being blind. There's a sort of a blinders on kind of energy with that 37-1, not willing to look at the emotional stuff. And it's very possible that we will see that coming up with her, especially with the issue with the young man in Minnesota. Okay, so let's look at her astrology. So she was born on May 25th, 1960 in St. Louis Park, Minnesota at 12:56 a.m. So 56 minutes into May 25th. She is a Gemini. Can you see? Here we go. All right. So we have Gemini here. She's got her sun and moon in Gemini. Can you see this? Hold on one second. Let me see if I can make this a little better for you guys. Just give me a moment here. Yeah, I moved the light around a little bit. Hopefully this is better. So we see down here that she has her sun and her moon in Gemini, and she also has Mercury in Gemini. Mercury is the ruling planet of Gemini, so it's powerfully positioned. Um, she has her Mercury and her sun and her moon all in the fourth house. So family is very important. She has a focus on family. She will have a focus on family when she gets in there. If she gets in there in whatever way she manifests her destiny, it will definitely be connected to issues of family. I know I was watching something, I think it was on MSNBC. There's going to be a show with that guy Zimmer, the food guy, and talking about the political situation and how the political situation is affecting the food industry and what it could mean for us, because most of the people who are in the food industry are undocumented workers, so that's going to be a problem. But he talks that he's going to be talking to Amy Klobuchar about issues of addiction and that she is one of the few candidates who want to put money toward therapy for addiction, which I think is admirable. Is admirable, and she does that because I guess her father was a blackout drunk, and so she had to deal with that as a child. And her childhood is very important to her, and and to a certain extent drives her to do what she wants to, what she's here to do. Um, in that 46 one, we can see that in her path of life. Okay, so here we go. So we have the Gemini. We have all the Gemini here in that fourth house. She also has a Venus in Taurus. Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. Oops, so it is powerfully placed. Venus is powerfully placed in Taurus, and it does trine the United States Pluto. All right, so that's nice for her. She has an Aquarius rising. Okay. When you have an Aquarius rising, you can be a little bit awkward. You can be a little odd. So there is this sort of sense of, I guess, awkwardness. But Aquarius is very intelligent as well. So she is nobody's dummy, this woman. Um, her ruling planet of her chart then with an Aquarius rising is this Uranus in Leo in that seventh house. Uranus in the seventh house, you could have some explosive outbursts when it comes to sort of interacting with people. There can be some shocks. And that seventh house is the house of law. So we can see that as her being a lawyer or a litigator. She does have, what is it? Her, my goodness gracious, her Pallas Athene right here. This one right here. This is the asteroid Pallas Athena. She has it conjunct the Pluto of the United States. Pallas Athena is government and social justice, and she could be very much a. It depends. But she could be a champion for making sure that the government is fair and functions fairly. Okay, so there's that. There's that in there. So she has her nodes. South node here in Pisces in the second house. North node in Virgo in the eighth house. North node in the eighth house, she will have opportunities in this lifetime to for where her ego must surrender to her soul. And that's never pleasant, really necessary, but never pleasant. Um, that that North Node in Virgo. What's interesting about her North Node in Virgo is that many of the candidates have North Node in Virgo. Um, Biden, Buttigieg, I believe, Bernie Sanders, she does, and somebody else. Somebody else. Who else is it? Her, Buttigieg. No, I think it's her, Buttigieg, Bernie Sanders, Mike Bloomberg. All, um, is Mike have it? I think so. Um, Pluto, North Node of Virgo, fixing what's broken. So it's interesting that there's so many of these people have that. Of course, she was born in 1960, like Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff also has that, although he's not running for president, but he's kind of a somebody who's like out now, and you're seeing his capabilities. So that's interesting, right? All right. So she doesn't have anything square the node, so that's good. So there's nothing sort of making her flip flop back and forth. Um, Virgo in that eighth house, North Node can also help with dealing with the debt, dealing with debt. Now, there's a possibility. Let me show you her chart with the United States chart, because I've done this with other people as well. So she does have some connections to the United States chart. The center chart is the chart of the United States. Is that right? Yes, it is. I don't know what I did. And then the outer chart is her chart. So here we have, as I pointed out before, here's her palace conjunct Pluto. Her ascendant is actually conjunct the south node of the United States. So she's been here before. She's done work with the United States before. She could have even been a revolutionary in the Revolutionary War. Wouldn't that be cool? All right, I don't know who she was, but she was probably there, a part of that, because that's in her picture. Her Ceres in Aquarius, and Ceres is nurturance, and Aquarius is humanity, is conjunct the United States Pallas Athene and the moon. So I see her as a proponent for families in the United States. She'd be very good for families. And of course, if you look right up top here, her North Node is conjunct the Neptune of the United States, as is Bernie Sanders, as is, I believe, Pete Buttigieg's. So that's very interesting as well. The thing that has me concerned with Amy in this chart is this. While she doesn't have a planet square the nodes, okay, her nodal axis is square the Mars of the United States, the Mars of the United States. And she has, opposite the Mars of the United States, she has Juno in Sagittarius. She has a bit of a temper. And she's a 1, and her wound is a 1. And that Mars squaring the nodes like that just concerns me. Not to say that she wouldn't be good if if she was president and something came up, but it would be perhaps not. It's just I don't know how to. I'm trying to. I just wouldn't want her to be too like quick to go into a war or something like that. She does have her Mars in Aries, and Mars in Aries can be a little impulsive. Mars in Aries can be somewhat impulsive. But I almost feel like where her Mars sits, as far as the chart of the United States, is it sits in that fourth house, and so she has a lot of energy for helping families. So I don't know. I mean, I think she has a real future in the United States, certainly as a senator, but I think it could go beyond that. I think it could go beyond that. And who knows, maybe she'll be put into whoever does get in into their cabinet. And I think she would work really hard for whoever, for herself if she got in, or for other people if they brought her into their administration. So I think that's really very interesting. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else I want to mention about Amy. So I think that's all I want to say about Amy. I hope you enjoyed that. I know it was kind of short, um, but I like Amy. Oh, I know. So I did look at the chart of the young man as I could find it. I got a date of birth off the internet. The young man's name is Mayan, Myon, Burrell. And when he was 16, he was arrested and charged with the murder of a young girl who was sitting in her living room, I guess, doing her homework, and a stray bullet came through the window. And I don't know if he was in the neighborhood or whatever, but he had a little bit of a record, but it wasn't much of a record. Anyway, it seems as though there was a concerted effort with the district attorney, who was Amy Klobuchar at the time, and the cops to pin this on this kid. And I think it was probably like there was uproar because this young girl died, and it was a random thing. So they said they had to find somebody. Well, this kid, first of all, he was 16 at the time. They said he was 17. I think they charged him as an adult, but there was no real, and the people who said yes, it was him, have since recanted. So this is an issue for her, and it's not going to go away. So, and their charts are like, the conjunctions are crazy in this chart. And if I can, I'll put the chart at the end of this. Hopefully you can take a look at it yourself. Um, Her chart is in the middle, and his chart is around the outside. And I did his chart for noon on the day that they said of his birthday. But I don't have an exact time on him. But the only thing that will really affect is the ascendant and the moon, and that's not really what you're getting from this chart. But there's a lot of very exact connections. And so on some level, her relationship with him uh, did have a faded quality to it. But also, when you have planets like that, like conjuncting, especially conjunctions, because those are the most powerful. And I think there were like 5 or 6 conjunctions in their mutual chart. This is like your soul and their soul. It's like a test, right? And so we have to see how she does with it. If she fixes it, I think that there's a better chance that she'll do better. Now, I don't think she can fix it right now. She's in the middle of a campaign. There's all kinds of stuff happening. But I think this is something that she needs to look at for her own sense of a peace within herself. Fix what's broken, right? That North Node in Virgo. Okay. All right, that's all I want to say about Amy. I do have Mike Bloomberg. Interesting dude. I haven't done his I mean, I did his numerology. I haven't done it like I did everybody else's because I didn't know he was running at the time. But I will do that next. We'll look at Mike Bloomberg's numerology, and we'll look at his chart. Interesting dude. Somebody else with a North Node in Virgo. Okay, guys. I'll be back. Take care. Like and subscribe. If you would like a reading with me, there is a link below. Would you like a reading? I think is what it says right before the link. It takes you to my website where you can purchase the reading, and then I contact you and we set up a time. I do have some availability this coming week, so if you've always wanted a reading, this is a good week to do it. Towards the end of the week mostly, but all the same. All right, guys, take care. See you soon. Bye.